I can't believe it.
Oh my God.
See that? You know what? This is the sign for perseverance, that it takes you everywhere you want to go.
Well, okay.
So if you just don't be upside down.
No, I'll try not to.
Or side, you're just faced.
Where am I that way round?
I don't know.
You're up, I'm upside down. If you're...
I'm upside. Oh, my orientation is portrait.
Oh, right. Hold on.
Lovely. I can see you leaning. Oh my God.
Is that better?
This is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, perfect. I find that hilarious. 10 minutes, but we got there.
Oh,
right?
Gosh, what a nightmare.
Now take your camera a little higher so I can see your head.
Okay, let me put some books on there.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad we made that. So we know for future times, we know the procedure. I'm good, thank you.
Good, good, good.
How are you? How are you?
All right. Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know that English.
Happy?
Do you remember when you got a course and you said, oh, the English always say, yeah, I'm okay.
Yes. Like this you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're okay. Okay. Super. So we have this little chat this morning to talk about teacher training courses, because you just came out of yours.
Yeah.
3 years, 500 hours diploma course.
Yeah.
And so I assume you're happy and relieved and all of that.
Yeah, a mixture catcher, relieved, but also a sense of loss. A sense of loss.
A sense of loss.
From the community and the group and the lunches and the friendships. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, yes. Well, which is a sad thing, but it's also a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, it was you gelled really well as a group, and it was really nice to meet on that regular basis. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's absolutely true. So I thought this is more for the ones who want to or think of becoming yoga teachers, and because it's a big thing, right? To select a course, to think where to start, because there's so much out there that you can choose. And so I was thinking, for when you were thinking about it, when it was in your mind, when did you know that you wanted to go onto that little journey from practicing yoga to teaching it?
I didn't know.
You didn't?
What?
Good.
No, it was really bizarre. So I've been practicing yoga just for a couple of years, and I went on a lot of yoga retreats. Like every year, I treated myself. Instead of going on holiday, I'd go on a yoga retreat. And I met Zoe Knott, and she said to me, oh, you should go on the foundation course. And I was like, oh, okay. And it hadn't even crossed my mind. I just thought, God, I really enjoy yoga and could feel the benefits of it, but didn't think any more. And she said, you should go on the foundation course. So I said, okay, are you doing one? And she said, no, but I can recommend you, Katja. So I said, okay, cool, recommendation's good. So came on your foundation course just with kind of wanting to understand a bit more about the philosophy and why we're making certain shapes and what do they mean. So I did really, really enjoyed it. And then I saw Zoe again on another retreat, and she just said to me, so you're going to do the diploma teacher training now, yes?
That's Zoe, yes.
And she said something to me, and I thought, God, this is so true throughout my life, that you know when other people can see potential in you, but you can't see it yourself. And she said to me, I think you'd make a wonderful yoga teacher. And I thought, wow, bloody hell. And I didn't see that in myself at all. So I thought, well, you know what, if somebody that I respect and admire is suggesting that I take a certain path, then who am I to argue with that? So, and I'm want to get on the wrong side of Zoe. I was like, okay, I'll do what I want.
True.
And then I said to her again, "You doing the course?" And she said, "No." But obviously I'd met you by then, and you did the intro, and I thought, you know what, I enjoyed the way that you taught on the foundation, and I knew you at that point, and felt that we connected, and I loved your sense of humour. So I just thought, I've got to just carry on this journey with you. And then I looked at where you are. Well, I knew where you are, and I thought, okay, I just have to come to terms with the fact that I'm going to have to travel, at least an hour and a half, maybe sometimes 2 hours. And,
yes,
and just weighing that up with, starting the course with somebody that I didn't know and all the rest of it. And then also what was lovely about doing it with you and carrying on that journey is that a couple of people came with us from the foundation to Diploma. Yeah. So
yes.
I'm short of how I got into it. I was told to.
I know, sometimes you just need to stumble as well into it. That was similar to my teacher then. She said, "You really should do that course." I thought, why? What for? I'm not intending to teach at all. And she kept pestering me. So I thought, all right then. Sometimes that's just what it takes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So your motivation was to learn more about yoga, but not necessarily to teach?
Well, it was first of all to learn more about yoga, and then when I decided to come on to your diploma course, I knew that actually if I'm going to invest this time, this money, this energy, the traveling, that actually it needs to be a bit more than just about me. And I knew that I wanted to become a yoga teacher then, because in my previous jobs I've had the responsibility of putting training packages together, and I really love that whole process of thinking about, okay, what am I sharing here, what are the learning outcomes, what do I want to deliver? And I thought, well, if I love yoga so much and I love developing training courses, let's put the two together and see what happens.
Well, it's excellent. This is also one part I think most people might not necessarily think about, sort of the learning theory also, or other aspects that are not really necessarily have to do only with yoga, but with the teaching side of it is all about that, thinking of what do you want to convey, and what do you want to how do you want to do that, and what needs to be in. I think that's really important, that this is also considered.
Yeah.
And I assume you expected that to come in the course as well, because you were obviously you have done something similar before.
Yeah. So that kind of that whole module around how to teach and how to become a teacher reinforced a lot of what I'd already learned on my previous teacher training courses, but was so valuable because that thing that you always used to say is why are you delivering this? Why are you putting that? And how does that relate to the learning outcomes? What are you attempting to do here? And just really thinking it in a deeper level, but also a bit in relation to yoga rather than what I used to do, i.e., drugs and alcohol training.
Yes, absolutely. And it adds so much to it also for you to teach. That is, I find it's very important, and it's a very important aspect, and which is often undervalued. It's lots of people, when they come into that, they only think it's just about the asanas, to do them, to maybe understand them, but also that is so important. And afterwards, I always find this makes you really a teacher that can convey something that sticks with people, rather than going to a class, feeling nice afterwards, which is good as well.
Yeah.
But you can just get so much more out of it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the important thing it also was about understanding the different learning styles, and that you
Yes.
and you kind of drilled that into us about everybody's learning style. You know, yes, there are certain categories, but never forgetting that just because I learn this way doesn't mean all my students are going to learn that way. And you know, me being dyslexic and obviously always getting my left and my right the wrong way round, and remembering that people learn through visual and through hearing and through experiencing it themselves, and getting that, and you know, that's really important.
Yeah, it is absolutely important. This makes, coming from that angle, makes really the difference between loving to practice yoga but also loving to teach yoga. You need to shift your focus from yourself to your students.
Absolutely.
And make them love it. Go ahead, sorry.
And that's where the learning continues from your students.
Yes.
And I always, when I started working years ago in the charity sector, and I learned so much from my clients about their experience of drug and alcohol and treatment, and now learning from my students, it's just like, wow, it fascinates me. You know, like I think I told you, it's like when I was teaching my men's only class, Gary Dasana, and I'm telling them to cross their legs and squeeze their thighs. And one of the students is a friend of mine, and he goes, Nat, I think we've forgotten to appreciate that the men have something down below that you have. When you squeeze your thighs together, you know, I can't because things are in the way. And I was like, what are you doing for me? Yeah. So, and I think
yes, absolutely.
As human beings, never to assume, yeah, I've done my diploma course, but the learning is just every day. Yeah,
absolutely. The learning is, yes, every session that you teach, you learn something. Yeah, absolutely. So when you think back at these 3 years, what was your most favorite, you know, element or topic, or what you really enjoyed learning about?
oh God, so much. I love learning about the anatomy and the human body, and I've just started another course, 6-month course. Just fascinates me.
Which is excellent.
Fascinates me. So that I really enjoyed, and I won't lie to you, I really struggled with it because of my dyslexia and everything, kind of reading and the visuals. So after I did the course, I thought, you know what, just because I'm really interested in this, I'm going to go on and do another course and learn more. So I really enjoyed that aspect. I really enjoyed thinking about each asana and going, okay, well, why are we doing this, and what's happening within the body. And I loved doing the whole philosophy, the Bhagavad Gita. That was great fun. The Upanishads, not so much.
Well, you can't love them all to start off with, but also, I think you have at different stages of where you are in your life, different scriptures, they resonate with you more than others. Maybe in 10 years time you read again the Upanishads or part of them and you think, wow, how did I not see that then, you know, this potential. It is really I mean, when I started the teacher training, I hated Patanjali. I thought, what's the point of that? Because it was so over my head, because I thought, you know, you're getting there at the first chapter. I don't want to read the other 3 because, you know, I can't even get there. And it was so not practical for me at all. So it took me a while till I saw the potential, and I thought it actually makes sense what he says, and now I love it. But it really is, it's true. You have to give them a chance, maybe a few years down the line, and you reread something, and then all of a sudden you have a completely different relationship to that than you had at the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's not a point of giving up and put it into the side forever.
No, that's very true. That's very true.
Absolutely. So what was your least favorite part?
Do panic shots. I know. To be fair, I think for me the struggle was because with dyslexia, for me personally, not everybody, I can't speak for everybody
Yes.
who's got dyslexia, trying to get an idea, a concept, reading it, and then trying to make sense of it, and then putting it in your own words, kind of translating it in your own way, really challenging for me.
Yes.
So, you know, the essay that we did around it and the reading around it, and obviously because I have to read things, you know, over and over again for the concept to sink in and sit. So anything that I struggled with, which was mainly that's what I really didn't like, because, you know, it's human, isn't it? If you enjoy doing something and you're good at it, that helps. Where you struggle with something, it gets a bit frustrating.
Yes, absolutely, it does. And I think we mustn't forget as well that these are all concepts that are not necessarily familiar to us who grew up in the West. Yeah, so they are completely different concepts, and we need to get our heads around a lot of things when we go into the philosophy and the way they see it, and learn a completely different way of thinking and approaching that. And I think that it takes a while to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's something else that I was thinking of. You know, we all have expectations. We think of, oh, it probably is like that when we start a project or when we do something, and we think we know how it will be in our head. Is there something, you know, that you didn't expect that really resonated with you?
Yeah, I appreciated kind of going into it that there would be loads of different assignments, you know, reading assignments, essay assignments, learning how to put a lesson plan together, all of that. I don't think I appreciated how much time and effort was going into it. And I don't want to put people off, because what people need to remember is that everything took me twice as long because of my dyslexia. And but you really have to carve time out and go, right, every weekend I have to put X amount of hours in, otherwise I'm going to fall behind. And trying to kind of keep up on top of things, and that sense of, and I know we've all experienced it, because, you know, talking to my other peers, this sense of, you know, kind of like this huge tsunami wave coming at you and thinking, oh, I'm going to drown in so much study and work. But going with that and not being put off by that, and going, you know, we're all going through this together, and you're not the only one feeling like that. That brought a bit of reassurance. You know, when I was in the kitchen and talking to some of the girls and going, oh my God, I just feel really overwhelmed. And they're like, me too. And I was like, I don't I'm not, you know? Yeah, so
yes.
Just accepting kind of, you have to pace yourself, you've got to stay on top of things, and you have to make sacrifices. You know, my first sacrifice was the first weekend we started the diploma. My friend's birthday in Switzerland, me and my partner got invited over. He went and I came into the course. So you have to make sacrifices, you know?
Absolutely. Yes. Because every meeting that we have, you know, we are covering so much ground.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable, and it's really difficult when you're not in that process to catch up with it later. You can catch up with the facts, but not this process that the whole group goes through. And there's a lot of group learning, you know, in different ways, when we're discussing things or when you do group work. So there's a lot of exchange where everyone puts in how they see it, and then this process of coming towards to understanding something, which is really important.
Absolutely. Hearing other people opinions, hearing other people's views. And when you miss a session and you catch up, you miss all of that.
You miss all of that. Absolutely, yes.
The dynamics, the conversations, the opinion, the experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, and they really help you to understand it much more than if you're reading facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. I agree with you.
It's a session.
Exactly. That's what I just wanted to say. Don't plan if it's planned, okay, you have done it. But if it's not planned, don't plan anything in.
Yeah.
Not in that time. And because you're learning a whole new profession.
Yeah.
Right. It's you're not learning how to go into Trikonasana or into headstand or whatever, but you learn a whole new skill and a whole new trait, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for that, it really is. And like you said, you put the commute in, so you put the time in, you put the money in for that. So then you want to get out of it the most by being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So now you're teaching on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Right. And you started teaching, what was it, about 2 years after 1.5 years? Was earlier than 2 years?
Early, yeah. So I've been teaching 2
2
years. So I think a year in, and I started teaching.
Yeah. And I think it was a good decision to take the class that I think Michelle offered you one of her classes, didn't she?
Yeah.
Which is like a gift to to receive.
Such a gift. A scary gift. Scary. Walking into
scary gift, absolutely.
Because the students have got expectations, and they've been together in their journey, and they've had a new teacher, and then other teachers coming in, and they're like, who the hell is this? And holding their expectations, and also big shoes to step into. Michelle's shoes, not like
yes, absolutely. Yeah. But I think you filled them out nicely.
Thanks.
I think so. I've no doubt about that.
Class is still going, which is great.
Class is still going, people are still coming. Yeah. That's the sign, that's the evidence for you. Yes. But it's very scary to start teaching people.
Yeah.
Not just your peers or your family or friends, which is also a bit scary, but people who think you know everything. It is pretty scary, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you did, but I'm sure you did that. Telling them, you are still training and you don't know everything just yet, just to calm their expectations a little, but also to stay. It is for both, it's for your students, but also for you, that you don't have this huge load on your shoulders that you need to know everything that the previous teacher did know, who was already experienced, which is really important. I think to keep it real for both sides is super important.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just being unique and honest about, your limitations. And there is no, how arrogant to walk in and think that I can fill Michelle's shoes. No way, it's like, I'm learning. I'm a student, I'm learning, and I only teach what I have been taught and what I know. And
and they were happy with it. Right?
Yeah, and just being, if asked something and I didn't know the answer, I just go, I'll get back to you on that. Quickly run home and look it up or phone you, like the pregnancy.
Yes. Yes, but I know I think it is all such a good process, and this is all human. You just don't know everything, and you mustn't take expectations from others onto don't make them your expectations. And I think for yoga teachers, this is such an important lesson to learn, to say, I'm there at that stage, but I'll read check my books, contact someone, I will get back to you. And people are happy with that. Because we often expect more from ourselves as others expect from us.
True. Very true.
which can be quite a load that we are putting onto ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is not necessary.
No.
Absolutely. So do you have any advice for students who might, or potential students who would like to embark on a teacher training, who would like to, or thinking about if that would be the right thing for them?
Yeah.
Just finishing yours.
Yeah. I would say, you know, if you're interested and you enjoy yoga and you want to learn more, then do take that step and start that journey. You know, it's a never-ending journey. Yeah, you do your diploma and then you finish the diploma, but the journey just, you know, is ongoing, as you know yourself.
Yeah.
Just, you know, kind of enter it with a really open mind and embrace it. You know, make the most of the community that you're in, because it is a community. You're with people during that journey for 3 years, and you know, we as a team, as a group, we gelled really well. And you know, there's a few of us. You know, I know that we're still friends and still in contact with each other. And just go with an open mind. You know, I mean, as an atheist coming into this was a challenge. You know, all this talk about God, and I'm like, you know. And then coming out the other end and going, actually, you know, I've done a U-turn where, no, I don't believe in God, but I do believe, you know, that we are all connected and we're all one, and there is something bigger than me. Of course, there is something bigger than me. There's something bigger than every, you know. I just choose not to call it God, and it's not a man with a big beard and all, you know, all that nonsense. So just, you know, go in with an open mind and know that the journey is ongoing, and just, you know, and turn up to every session.
Yeah, absolutely. Make that space. Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. And I think it's important to what you just touched on. You have done your course, and there's still so much out there to learn. Like we said earlier, you know, every session you learn something new from your students, and how to do things, or what might not be a good idea, and to also have this open mind to that and think, yep, this is ongoing, and that's how it is. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's true.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, the same way that you make time and space and the right environment for your own practice in the evening, you know, rolling out your mat, turning the lights off, you know, telling the family to bugger off for a moment while you create that space, and then arrive on your mat. It's the same process for doing the course. It's like, right, I'm going to invest in this, so therefore I'm going to give it time, I'm going to make cancellations and sacrifices, because, you know, you're worth it, and yoga's worth it.
Yeah. Yes, truly it is. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Natalie. That was great. So if people in South London, they are interested in working with you, where can they contact you?
So they can either email me, Natalie Howarth 68@btinternet.com, or they can jump on my Facebook page, Secrets of a Student Yoga, or Natalie Howarth, probably easier.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
For joining and having that little chat. And for everyone who is interested in yoga teacher training, so I'm offering a certificate course, 300 hours only. We are making it shorter, more doable, 14 months only with Laura. I'm looking really forward to that with Laura, and it will be great to have. It will be great also to have 2 tutors, not to hear one voice all the time, you know, but to hear 2 different voices. And we're starting in March 2021, and we have online at the moment. Everything needs to be online. Information session end of this month, 22nd. And yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Natalie, hopefully seeing you soon again.
I hope so. Take care.
Okay, take care of yourself. Have a lovely rest of the Sunday. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.